Up show for the upcoming new year. And to begin with, I'm also privileged to be part of this talk show as we anticipate to celebrate the new year, better known as 𝗕𝗵𝘂𝗁𝗃 or the traditional day of offering. Well, Bhutan is unexceptionally our only country where a number of celebrations, be it festival or Losar, are celebrated in a year. So among those, it is the first day of the 12th lunar month, which we celebrated as New Year, popularly known as 𝗕𝗵𝘂𝗁𝗃 in the eastern part of Bhutan, and also literally translated as the traditional day of offering. So this day marks as the beginning of the new year, according to the astrological interpretation of the Lama Gongdi teaching or the treasure discovered by 𝗕𝗵𝘂𝗁𝗃𝗀 Limpa. So going by the tradition, this day holds a great significance for the nation, for the Bhutanese people to cherish and to celebrate the historical significance and the long-standing tradition of the Bhutan that we cherish. So this day is not just a day to enjoy or to lavish ourselves or to induce ourselves enjoying over the food and drinks. Instead, it is a day to reflect our gratitude, devotion, and loyal to our great monarch kings, and also for our great grandparents, whom because of their gratitude we are able to stand and we are able to cherish, we are able to take care, or we are able to cherish ourselves being as a Bhutanese within the Bhutanese culture and within the Buddhist tradition. So this the traditional day of offering. In general, it is important, but in particular for Bhutanese people and the Bhutanese community as a whole holds a great significance.
Thank you, Levi. So in line with that, what is the historical importance of 𝗕𝗵𝘂𝗁𝗃𝗀, and how does the tradition of 𝗕𝗲𝗏 connect to this festival?
Okay, a very important to know and to be known, and also to make ourselves as a pure Bhutanese. It has been more than 400 years since and after 𝗕𝗵𝘂𝗁𝗃𝗀 unified this nation as a sovereign state or independence. It is on this day that the people across the country celebrated. People across the country pay tribute to the legacy and the great leadership of 𝗕𝗵𝘂𝗁𝗃𝗀. It is said that the people were represented by three powerful panlobs. Like 𝗕𝗵𝘂𝗁𝗃𝗀, it's said to have led the representative from the eastern regions, and the 𝗵𝗂𝗂𝗁𝗃 is said to have led the western regions, and 𝗕𝗵𝗂𝗁𝗃 is said to have led representative from the south region with their offerings, better known as 𝗕𝗏𝗏. And the main purpose of offering this 𝗕𝗏𝗏 is to show their sincere gratitude to the men who we consider as the nation builders, who we consider as our root guru, to show their gesture, to show their appreciation for his benevolent leadership for making a nation, one people, one country. And of course, there are some accounts that even before the arrival or before the unification of country by 𝗕𝗵𝘂𝗁𝗃𝗀, people across the country, they have been celebrating this the first day of the 12th month as a Losar or the New Year. So now considering the importance, then the government instituted by 𝗕𝗵𝘂 in the 17th century, which that time was largely a monastic court. So they saw very significance they saw the day as very important. Then accordingly, the appointments or the retirement of high officials in general, and in particular, the appointments of precentors or the 𝗕𝗵𝗃, and the appointments of disciplinarians or the 𝗕𝗵𝘃 at various monastic body until today took place on this, the New Year celebration, which is going to happen in the coming days.
Yes.
So literally, the day is something we honor the great leadership of 𝗕𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗃, who is seen as the nation builder, and also to reflect our gratitude and our loyal to his consecutive successors, which we believe our successor, Their Majesty the King. So going by historically, so it is a day where we must and where we need to cherish and pay our gratitude and tribute to the great 𝗕𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗃 on this day.
So thank you, 𝗕𝗵𝗃. So moving on to our next segment, that is to do with the rituals and practices. So the question here is, how does the traditional day of offering reflect Buddhist teachings and principles in its celebrations?
So like in any celebration, all the celebration, be it festival or New Year, are deeply rooted with the Buddhist culture and also with the Buddhist principles through the emphasis on generosity, like charity, and also showing the benevolence to our great monarchs, to our great ancestors. And also the day also reflects the consequences of the cause of law and effects, and also it shows the karmic connections and also the interdependent origination, where we as a human being, we are connected with all this, interconnected. And this is something, a day that we need to cherish our shared duties to preserve this tradition through involving or through actively participating. It is a day that we need to focus, not just to lavishly enjoy the feast. Instead, we need to focus the Buddhist principles like generosity, being patience, forbearance, and also show some kind of sense of responsibility and sense of belonging to the society in general, and also sense of belonging or loyal to the 𝗲𝗏.
Can you explain the specific rituals and specific practice performed during the festival and their spiritual significance?
Well, unlike other auspicious occasions, like including you and I, we may not be able to, or we may not be able to be mindful or ever to conduct wholesome activities or ritual,
Yes.
because we are overwhelmed by the festive moods. We are overwhelmed by the food and drinks and entertainment. However, as like I mentioned before, it is not a merely day where we induce ourselves on enjoyments of our food and drinks, enjoyment of our entertainment. Instead, it is equally a day where we need to reflect, for instance, on impermanence, on the law of cause and effects, on generosity or making virtue. So I can recommend few wholesome activities that we need to focus on this particular day, like offering ritual is to create a kind of inducive environment or to appease the deities, and also like chanting mantras to create a very to inherit or to receive blessings and spiritualism, or for the enrichment of spirituality. And also one of the simplest thing is to just going around the stupas and the temples, so that we inherit or we accumulate virtue and merit. So these are some of the wholesome activities or some kind of like a merit making activities that we need to prioritize or we need to focus on this day, instead of totally overwhelmed or instead of totally influenced by the enjoyment of food and drinks.
Yes, so thank you, 𝗕𝗵𝘂𝗶𝘂. So in line with that, as you mentioned about karma and merit, so in what ways the offerings made on this day connect with the Buddhist concepts like merits and karma?
Yes, this traditional day of offering is, in principle, is based on the karma and merit. It was during the time of 𝗕𝗵𝗂𝗯𝗔𝗿𝗂𝗃, who from the 17th century until today we believe him the nation builder, who believe in the great nation, great something like a guru, who was the embodiment of 𝗚𝗿𝗁𝗁𝗃𝗀𝗲 and Guru Rinpoche. Since it was before him that the people, the wise people during that time offered bilwa, their intention was to pay their gratitude to 𝗕𝗵𝗂𝗯𝗔𝗿𝗃, and in return they wanted to accumulate merit. The more they are loyal or the more they offer to 𝗕𝗵𝗂𝗯𝗔𝗿𝗃, the more they gain merit, the lesser their karma becomes. So by going by this significance and by just looking at the examples or the legacies of our great-great-parents, we can just easily learn from this lesson that it is a day that we need to reflect on the cause and effects. It is a day we need to reflect the methods or the means to accumulate merit and wisdom. So this is how the traditional day of offering is deeply rooted in the concept of law and cause, and also something of a method to accumulate merit and wisdom.
Thank you, 𝗕𝗵𝘂𝗶. Now we'll move on to our next segment, that's with regarding the community and family involvement during this traditional day of offering. The question here is, how do Bhutanese families and communities prepare for and celebrate the traditional day of offering in general?
A very common question that every one of us, including the viewers, are anticipated with the upcoming events. So this new year, popularly known as 𝗕𝗵𝘂𝗁𝗁𝗃𝗀𝗃, also coincides, also fall within the duration of winter solstice. And most interestingly, this also marks the end of the one cycle of agriculture work and before the start of the next cycle of something like a harvest.
Yes.
So this means that this gives the farmers something like a time to get off their work, where the people, starting from the younger generations to the age-old people, they gather together. And it includes something like the founding of all walks of life, be it from starting from the child until our great-great-grandparents. So this day is something that where the farmers in the rural, they particularly cherish. It is something that this day not only give them to enjoy on food and drinks, instead they cherish the day because they need to know each other. They know the vitality of community. They know the unity and the harmony they created during the celebration of New Year. So this, I would say this, the 𝗕𝗵𝘂𝗁𝗁𝗃𝗀𝗃 is something that our great-great-parents in remote area, they cherish, something a day that are memorable to make themselves aware of the community founding, the shared values they share, the shared values and responsibility. They also create something, a sense of belonging to their community. And also through this day, they know something like they value the importance of getting together. They know the values of even the volunteerism and community services also. So this is something our great-great-parents, like including you and I, come from the rural part of Bhutan. We know how the rural part, fellow Bhutanese in the rural appreciate and cherish this, the first day of the 12th lunar month.
So thank you, 𝗕𝗵𝘂𝗶. So in line with that, what role does do the religious and spiritual practices play in the celebrations?
Well, like I mentioned before, unlike any other auspicious day, the celebrations related to the New Year has been, I would say, has been left out. I would say has been left out without any emphasis or without any focus in terms of engaging in spiritual or in terms of engaging in wholesome activities. But still then, like I mentioned, the day itself holds a great significance. It was something, a day that created by the man none other than the who made this nation a sovereign and independence. And considering the importance and our shared values that our great parents, our great monarchs have entrusted to us, it is that the role of the religious or the religious heads and the monastic institutions that we need to prioritize, or we need to create awareness. What are the best practices that we need to engage or we need to initiate on this day? Particularly, we need to initiate something activities that hold importance, something activities that is dedicated for the welfare, well-being or welfare of the nation, well-being of Their Majesty the King, and also for the better community vitality, and also for better community services. So these are something that I would recommend that the monastic institutions and the religious community should prioritize or should focus on this New Year Eve.
So thank you, 𝗕𝗵𝘂𝗁𝗂. So in line with that, how do the monasteries and religious institutions in Bhutan participate in this celebration, in the celebration of this day?
Okay, I would say that the monastic institutions, the religious organizations are not merely a traditional or something like a traditional structure that holds the great significance or the Bhutanese culture, arts. Instead, they are the center for spiritual practice. They are the center for enrichment of spiritualism. So, because of the great significance and the sacredness they hold, so they attract people during the celebration of festivals, during the appointments, or during the eve of any kind of celebration. So they are not merely the structure standing or just to attract or just to uphold the religious institution or government hubs. So they are something like a source of veneration, or something a source where we can take a refuge, something source where we seek a guidance, where we seek some spiritual enrichment. So in line with, so during this time of any celebrations, be it festival or New Year celebration, so the monastic institutions or religious, let's say, temples, they play a vital role in shaping or in inviting the people so that they gain spiritual enrichment, they advance, or they get the guidance to move forward in a very religious way of life, or in a very spiritual way of life.
That's 𝗕𝗵𝘂𝗁𝗂. Let's move on to our next segment. That is we are going to look at the cultural and social impact about this day, because of this day. So how does this day contribute to preserving Bhutan's cultural heritage and traditions?
Yes, as you have mentioned that amidst the changing time, amidst the modernization, yes, it is quite hard to preserve, promote our cultural values, national identities. But still then, this kind of day are the day where we need to focus or where we need to be mindful ourselves. As you have grown up, as you and I and all the viewers have grown up celebrating the national, celebrating like a national day and the New Year, and we know ourselves how we celebrate. For instance, until noon before the lunch is served, we live together in our family. The parents, they cook, and after we are done with the lunch, we people get into our finest Bhutanese attire. Then the men go for the games, particularly the national game archery. The women and our mothers, they stay home, but they also come to participate together. So I would say that being as a Bhutanese who share the equal roles and responsibilities to uphold and promote our national identities, culture, values, and traditions, we as a Bhutanese, I would say that we are still aware, we are still mindful to protect our national identities, to preserve our cultural norms. So this, I would say that we as a Bhutanese, we are quite doing okay in terms of preserving our cultural identities, in terms of showcasing, starting from the way we dress, and the day we unite together. So as a part of being community, I think this, be it the 𝗕𝗵𝘂𝗶𝗶𝗏 or 𝗕𝗵𝗿𝗏𝗃𝗏, so any this kind of celebration or the gatherings give a platform to be remind ourselves and to be aware ourselves to take care our national identities.
Thank you, Levi. Why do you think this festival still holds deep meaning for the Bhutanese people today?
Yes, like I mentioned before, then this day itself holds a great significance in our history. It is our shared duties and responsibilities. Though we may not be able to celebrate this, be it the first day of the 12th month or be it the first day of the first lunar month, we still need to preserve, we still need to promote. Reason is, it is something that we need to inherit or we need to pass down to our younger generations. That sooner or later our younger generations, they have to also cherish our thriving, our living traditions. If not today, if we do not preserve, if we do not be mindful or aware of the consequences of the dire consequences, if we fail to preserve, if we fail to promote, or if we fail to teach to our younger generations, then there will be no national identity. Our younger generations may not be able to uphold our cultural values. Our younger generations may not be identify the Bhutanese tradition. Starting from the small, let's say, starting from our childbirth, new appointments, marriage, and until death, we have such a rich traditions, deeply rooted within the Buddhist principles. So if we do not cherish, if we do not pass down, if we do not propagate, or if we do not promote among our younger generations, then we will not be able to, our younger generations will not be able to cherish, or will not be able to make themselves make themselves a sense of belongingness to the nation. So this is how, as a Bhutanese citizen who deeply cherish and who deeply attributes to the national identity, our cultural values, and also our loyal and patriot to their great monarchs. So this is how we need to preserve and promote our cultural values.
Thank you, Levi. So what types of offerings are usually made during the festival, and what do they symbolize?
like going back to the time of 𝗕𝗵𝗂𝗶𝗂𝗯𝗿𝗂𝗃, the people from different regions, they offer their fresh annual harvest, starting from grains, vegetables, fruits. So those things have been something become the talk of the past. However, they played a great significance. They had to set a precedence that the value and the importance of such bilwas. Now coming to our world of this 21st century, let's say in the monastic centers, when the new appointments like precentors and the disciplinarians are met, so we offer a grand feast, something like a grand feast offerings, to not only to 𝗕𝗵𝗃𝗃 Rinpoche but to all the great masters who have blessed this country or who have introduced the Buddhist principles in this country. Secondly, on this day we also offer our solemn prayers and wishes for the good health, long life of their Majesty the King. And also we offer in the monastic institutions, we offer prayers and butter lamps for the well-being of the nation, to be free from natural disasters and calamities, and also for the well-being of the people around. So these are some of the offerings that the Central Monastic Body, in line with the appointment of different designated positions in the Central Monastic Body. So unlike other institutions the monastic institutions under the Central Monastic Body still play a significant role in promoting and in keeping the tradition of celebrating the bilwa, or the traditional day of offering.
So we have come to the very end of this session, La. So is there any message that you'd like to pass on to our viewers on the traditional day of offering, also known as the Juniper Loser?
Last but not the least, to all the viewers, I sincerely offer Tashidele and wish you all happy Loser. Tashidele.
Thank you, La, your Venerable, for sharing your insights and helping us understand the profound meaning behind this celebration, La. This festival is not just about rituals and traditions, but also about expressing gratitude, preserving cultural heritage, and strengthening the bonds of family and communities. It's a wonderful reminder of the values that connect us as human beings. Thank you all for watching us. We hope today's episode has inspired you to appreciate and celebrate the richness of our cultural traditions, whether in Bhutan or wherever you call home. See you next time. Until then, take care and happy Juniper Loser.